AP Radio 105.7. You're listening to AP Radio.
AP Radio 105.7.
Action Power TV, the way of salvation.
You're listening to AP Radio. AP Radio 105.7.
Munyina mwadwo anyumrei eba APTV ede radio 105.7 so ensamhodro asese ye man moni amahodro so de di ka de tie di hwe mede eso mosa no si abrem kase ensam no de obete ebini Chief of Staff Yewa Julius Debra ese Volta Economic Corridor no ehu hia yie papa eche bibi te sa ya sabia kwan ne niam bi eka ho a onu betumi ha ye de abo man no sanso na adarafo atoto ahyentuade abo mu o ena so ma ya tese wonten so ene wonu mu afro hyan ebi edi nkomo so for her dear and some so say industries betumi agina wo man mu a je se wonu ha ba kwa no ne nkane ntumi nya na so mu siesie nti aban no egusu edi ho djuma amane bo ayeto dwefra ma no ne ede se Syria mampani dadra na neyi kwato ewo wo mu kro no mu ahye se boni bia wodi ye ewo wo no mu kro no mu nti wo mu bo no kumfo dodo no aka ye ho ane ede so mo se no si abrem kase news.apmediagh.com ho ne ede online stories dem be kinkan ne afoforo bi nyina ka ho agogo ho Samsung na Facebook APTV online, YouTube APTVGH, TikTok, Instagram, and X and Tinte Fidini AP Media _GH. Edia me just on a boss lady, Afia Kyem Agyemang. Voter Economic Corridor, yeah. Yɛma mpani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama gye atom sɛ ɔno bɛyɛ ayɛ ne yie na atumi aboa ɛwɔ dwadi akɔnneɛmadie ne nneɛma bi ɛka ho nsɛm so ɔno. Wɔn agye atom sɛ ɔmo bɛbi ɔmo apono ama nkorankorakuo ɛde ɔmo ho abɛhyɛm. Private investors nso bɛtumi aba mu bi. Sɛ bɛyi a adesoa ne nyinaa fa ne sikasɛm ne nneɛma bi ɛka ho no ɛntɔ ɔman no so ma yɛn mmom ɛmfa ho ka. Ne sɛnti nhyehyɛeɛ akɔ so wɔ Volta River Authority 24-hour economy, Afia Accelerated Export Development Secretariat, Ghana Infrastructure Development Fund, one munya na aka bomwa, one more sis Agyemang so mbehwe ama Volta corridor no etumi Agyemang na so. Na so afo na so pani ono ene ye yemam pani adwumayefo nyina ti Chief of Staff, Dr. Julius Debra akyeremu se atimupe anase gyinasie yi ebetumi abo akwanua sododro no aso sanse ye ka se enema bi te se yakwan suku adan ayasabia ne nneema bi ebekeka bomu a wose Volta economic corridor no ehu hia papa sa aban no tumi wie sa atirimupo na na sa project no otumi wie mpo a enke beboa gen ekwan dodoro so achen nneema foforo bi infrastructure bi a aban ne betumi aye ede aka ho ti bi sei ba yensom na yemoa ementimi nyina ne naso.
Successive generations have preserved and extended that legacy. Still, the fuller economic promise of the Volta Basin as a connected system of transport, agriculture, fisheries, industries, and trade has remained largely unfinished. No generation begins the work of nation building with a blank sheet. We inherit institutions, we inherit assets, we inherit sacrifices, and we inherit unfinished dreams. Wise leadership honors what comes before, learn from it, and carry it further. Nkrumah's generation built the dam. Other generations kept its turbines turning and widened access to electricity. President Mahama has now determined that the wider vision must be carried to its full economic conclusion. This is how a serious nation develops. One generation lays the foundation, another protects it, and another builds the next story. The baton must never be allowed to fall. President Mahama understands this deeply. He sees systems where others see isolated progress. He looks at Water Lake and sees a national production and logistics backbone. He sees inland ports and reliable water transport linking the north to the south. He sees irrigated farm producing throughout the year, agroecological parks, industrial hubs, fisheries tourism, renewable energy, storage, processing, and exports. Above all, he sees jobs and better incomes for Ghanaian families.
Emampani adwumayefo no nyina wo mutinie Chief of Staff Yera Julius Debra and what is ansem ya to na yenko Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. Wo mo akere mo se asemi kopie mo e wasani bia na eno no eye Ghana Shippers Authority for one mra wo mo de ye adwuma. No mo kire se e ba no container ho adwumadi a wo mo administrative charges bi wo ho a na Shippers Authority no e de ato 720 cedis e kopie mo was a nibia ma court to cry jatum se 720 ne wa na sese wo bia agye shipping airlines no and one is so bi gia ense so omoje ema no ebro so empo freight forwarders for no crossing nka hu hia se sika no wonum ni ndie ntie yeje wo mo na so no se shipping authority for say won mo beje a na court so apne so de ne ombe ye ne sa mbetua na kwa ko ban say shipping lines no so person omo gi sika no man bro 720 cedis no ayetwa ama na kwa kosi no eno nti nene wo mode wo nsam etu dwa sese ne court waka no ano esese shipping lines no omutumi di so na ankofa ade so akesi bia mbeto omo so sanse sika na ho dada no omo so omo nim de nti omutua no ede wo ha kese na eba wo mo so pressure kese so ba omo so enti wo mo hwedim se nke betua yefo na yenyi mfiri ho so a na ma mo je se sika no to mo de bi ka ho omo so omo mpene ne empene trenti esese Ghana Shippers Authority for bemu na omo mra no se ne court waka no omo hwe se shipping lines na wodo no ebetumi edi so Owura Jacob Agyemang wono na ejina ko ni nyina anemu a wode sansemi etudwa.
Shippers Authority has issued a directive. You went to court for the court to put an injunction on the directive. The court quashed that your application. It's been 30 days since the court quashed your directive, your application for injunction, and you are still not obeying the court order. So we came here to judge with one shipping. At least if they may have some operational challenges, we are all humans, we can discuss. So we've been here for over 45 minutes. Nobody is ready to meet us. They're in their offices, they claim nobody is there, which we really doubt it. They are there, but nobody is ready to meet us because they don't respect the laws of Ghana, they don't respect Ghanaians, and they think they can take us for a ride. That's why we are angry. And we are saying this on authority. We are calling on the President of the Republic, we are calling on the Parliament of Ghana, we are calling on the judiciary. Because if these three arms of government have been totally disregarded and disobeyed by these shipping lines, what will bring these shipping lines to book?
We Owura Jacob Agyemang wono na ehwama sankita wudi ensam so at Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. Enti Ghana Shippers Authority for the container administrative charge no ya 720 cedis ya to ho say no na shipping lines obia enje musum pesa mo jema ne bro so eno ho asam na wo mo eken na yenko amayati furu fam Northern Regional Minister Honorable John Ali Adolf wachire mo se ba no enuanini ho nsam a asa ya akofom kakra e ka ne se nutrition asa se ne enuaninu ne se se yenya we nipadua mo nuane no nipa ndo obedi a eye se esua nti onhyeda nya nu no dodo no awo nipadua mo ana se bi wakora aduane no obenya no ebi do so bro so chen bi ne se so nya ma no hoden de ebeboa nipadua no e wakone asa dodo no aso no na ebi ekofom eno ho asem e na wo mo kan se hu hia se yen se wo man no etumi hwe ne ye bibi e de fa ho yen nipa so so ye bibi e fa ho enuane no dwuma ye di we ye nipadua na bia e wo de ye tie koba ne se aduane a wudi emu ba kokora ni mu a na ma bibi atosin e wo mu eno nti e na wo no mo kire se ye nuane die mu no e wo se ye ma ho hia ye pa na ye hwedie di ko ye nipadua mu hu ne ye se betumi aboa yen ensem ye ready to dwa e wa bra dwumadi e fa nutrition and nipa die mu ho nsem koso ewo University for Development Studies chante se UDS Tamale and what the other said to timefo ni fo aduane die na fe mpanimfo so de se mo ye fa ho no omde ni nyina gu akwam a ebetumi aboa wasa akwan so.
Therefore urge this conference to conclude with a clear time-bound roadmap that can inform national and regional policy. Permit me to acknowledge the dedication of nutritionists and dietitians across Ghana. Your work often takes space quietly, yet your contribution saves lives every day. Your expertise has become even more critical as we experience changing dietary habits and increasing consumption of processed foods. I therefore encourage government institutions, health facilities, and education establishments to continue strengthening the role of nutrition professionals in policy development, clinical care, research, and community outreach.
Where Tiffy Montamino Musa for Honorable John Ali Adolf. Yakwani partner imo and some.
This segment is brought to you by
King's Home Studios.
Ashanti South Media Caucus say one matena say who say aposi for drum no ewo asante mantemo no ebi mo bo mo homoden pa nti o mayi mu nan yi a o ma sha o manu nyam aba wo mo aba so eba no yasomdwe afa ye bambon sam ne kwan befa so akrono sam ene ne mabone so beti aposi for nan yi wo mo adi adwumaso e wo mu pa sa na sentwerefo nka bo mu kuo e mo Ashanti South wo mo de etudwa nti abaso no Ekoma Ashanti South Regional Police Commander DCOP Joseph Hammond Nyaba Afia Bekwai South District Police Commander no ASP Martina Muakbente Bekwai Divisional Police Commander Chief Superintendent Richard Bonsu and Afia Ashanti South Regional Crime Officer no Superintendent Stephen Entry womo nanyi and Asaba Subwe Eko Edema womo President the Ashanti South Media Caucus no Ora Francis Owusu Bema Kojono no ono ene di animu na wɔkyerɛ sɛ aposifoɔ yi adan suban soronko adi wɔ wɔn dwuma a wɔn die mu na wɔn nso so ka ho ɛna asantemantam ha yɛ bambɔ nsɛm agya national free agyapadeɛ nso mpabɔnfoɔ ntumi mfa wɔn nsa nka na DCOP nyaba ɛna gyina aposifoɔ nan ne nyinaa na mu a ɔno nso so de aseda ɛma nsɛntwerɛfoɔ ɔmo hu ne yie sɛ ɔmo ayɛ adwuma yie nti wɔn mu hia wasobɔ anaasɔ mo hia sɛ yɛhunu nneɛma pa a wɔn ɛyɛ na wɔn bɛto akɔso a yɛ deɛ wɔn ayɛ ne yabɔ ɔmo aba so no na wo mahwɛ sɛ yɛ bambɔ nsɛm ebetumi agyina
the kind of massive was body and the brain it's and say over the years the same problem who send fire there open a battle need citation here say yayibi which one say yayibi intina mo the better must see here pa say my brain was body the kind of yes Bob Medici almost bound who says the baby almost no my room I be say much make one with drum BBC with the massy but Timo Apostle and Agyemang in Benson until Asida the massy say Makai Mohu Mapaya and with Makai into the mission. That's I keep my point say to me grab a Ghana movie to make over beer. It's a second way then the background more. It's just a Muslim and come more. The cover beer, but nice and you're for fracam. Your trust says I become almost better for floor. It's a very near Dean, let's like a for free.
Wey DCOP Joseph Hammond Nyaba ono ne di aposifoɔ nan yi ha ene ya hye ɔma nyunyam ya na mu a ɔde aseda ɛma Ashanti South Media Caucus no na yɛnkɔ kita ayasabia ye wɔ hɔ no ɔmo ensa kakade a okeka bomu a ɛsom bɛ 2 million cedis ya wɔ mo de bɛboa yarehwɛ ne yaresa ɛho ensɛm na lawyer Lomnoko ɛna ɔte wɔn matena se adwe ho hu sɛ wo hwɛ ayasabia bia ye wɔ no a wɔn mu kro no ɛbɛn nsuo ho enti wɔn mu fidie na de ne ade no yare ho taa wewe ntempa enti ɔmo yɛ ɔmo adwen so ɔmo bɛboa apɔmuden nsɛm wɔ man mu no ɛna ɔmo dwen so ɔmo fa nkɔ kita na entumi enko boa mo dwumadie enko nanim nti ɔmo ne Living Presence Evangelist Network ne ka bɔ mu a ɔmo akɔyɛ saa adoye ya ɔmo gidi ye sɛ betumi aboa wakonua sa dodo no a ɛso ɛna nya ne yebegya de abɔ aban no ɛso ankonkroko ahodo wɔ hɔ anase nwumako bi enhya aban na sekra tumi ka bɔ manu nti ɛna wɔn madwe ho akɔyɛ saa adoye yi.
Of course, before we came here today to donate these items, we sent the list out to the hospital to look through and see how useful these items would be for them. And they've confirmed that indeed they need these items in greater numbers. And so this is our little contribution to support the hospital. This is just one of many that we'll be doing to support the development of the Keta municipal area. There are many things that obviously are needed. We know for a fact that the government cannot do it all. So myself, as a son of the constituency and what I can do to contribute to this, I do it. And also with NGOs and international organizations and religious organizations like LIPEN, we can do so much more.
We a lawyer Lomnoko, one Living Presence Evangelistic Network na Kabomwa, or Makwakoya Dredia Makita, a buying Ayasabia Wawa, a bit to me aboa woman and share any yaresa in symbol. na every ene anope ade ba no an wo mu afoshen bia ni be se adawafo binum atoto ahyentuade ne bomo GPRTU for energy RTCC wo mu nyina yeku a adawafo binum ehye wo mo se eba beto odwa se ahyenkafo no pese wo mo toto ahyentuade ni mo na msoma GPRTU for no mu ku aka nyina ba mu be yes wo ni mpanifo kwotena se na wo ma dwendwen asemu na mi se adawafo na trase a one month hwe mfro mu mpanimfo ho na fa nwo bo no so mo se totoa na ye tutumu na nansentem pokora de e beto odwasa aban no ye 22 the free diesel liter ba ko bia eso na so ye da sore na no payi a adawafo no atoto ahyentuade nim na mso ayene passenger fo bi di nkomo omo so de ha omo kora ne se one mo de omo pa tutumu no senka bibi ti se CDC kora no a na ne 50% bi amo de atoso 20 bi 30 bi a na so no the SSDs na ye je 7 the ye 5 no omo je 6 na say 1 cd mu a na omo de etotototo so omo hu ne ye say entwa ye say ye de ato say esesa nhehye bi na ba free mpanimfo mu na esane abafom ansa na hyentuade yetimi atoto mu esesa driver for wo mu di so.
This morning when I was coming to office, I realized from my place at Masaman to Condition, it used to be 10 cities, and I get down at industrial area, not industrial area. But when we get into the car this morning, they say 14 cities. I didn't hear any announcement of fare increment though.
I'm coming from Koforidua, but when I was coming by to Accra, I paid Koforidua to Accra. That was 70 cities, but in the initial fare was I think 55. So it was too much. So maybe I think they should reduce their price or something, but it's too much. And then I was even going to from Madina to Spintex, I think it was 11 cities, and then when I was going, they took 14 cities.
Passenger for be and I can say, said our friends said, no, Messia to two no, I'm not the year pa, dear. 1 month to sue, and tis better to soak a cran, dear Maya, 2 minutes, dear. Some better to know, now, born I'm the better sono, and I had drink a cra, and my 1 more, a fresh channel. You try and walk a jab of funk at all. You buy a could mo and some.
This is what mini wireless networks look like. But hey, this is what they actually look like. Introducing Kenny Rose Wireless. Switch to Kenny Rose Wireless and enjoy streaming without buffering. Communication with no lag. This is what mini wireless networks look like. But hey, this is what they actually look like. Introducing Kenny Rose Wireless. Switch to Kenny Rose Wireless and enjoy streaming without buffering, communication with no lagging, business without restrictions, and achievements with no limits. Get connected today. For enquiry, sales, and support, contact us on 020-8.
no kwasam se adwumasua ya ade a se wonsaka obia ntumi njem free wonsam eno nti enei se wopese wotu kwan kwa amanone ana wotena oman Ghana mu eye adwumanya sika gu botom de a mekanfo St Augustine Heavy Machine Training Center de amount ko na onfa na wotwemie no pe enkyerɛ Caterpillar Piloda any forklifter ebo no ewo fom kra ye wo Kumasi Askwa ye ni Askwa Police Station no ene dinhwe de mu ye san so ben Askwa Children's Hospital tafua Akoko Space Junction wa ubetumi afre St Augustine Heavy Machine Training Center 0243860810 St Augustine Heavy Machine Training Center. We are your last stop.
There's one thing that can shake your confidence. It's not your outfit, nor your educational background. It's your bad breath. Your oral health is just as important as your appearance. That's why you need Agyemang toothpaste. Agyemang toothpaste comes with 23 powerful ingredients to strengthen your teeth and gums. With just a pea size, you can fight bad breath and stop bleeding.
Aboafobia wo mo so yase ma yede anwumre no sia kase so mo mo krato ene ekogye ye no na yetoa kase no so ewo dwadie ensemo APTV ene radio 105.7 so ni so afọ so dwadie ene fini nwuma ensam so maame Elizabeth Ofosu ejare na odnani acheche mo ewo enfini nwuma bia kase industries ne companies ya ewo Agyemang na ode ato wo manim se ogediye senkane ho hia pa ewo nnwuma a ekoso ewo Agyemang nti se ekoba ne senkane ho nsam entumi enya na naso sa na ha dwen ye nhwe ne mu se industries empem ko manim wabrankane no ehihimu entumi nyina ne senti aban no de nhwehwe pa egu akwan mu se de odi tudwa no so mo beboa amankane no etumi akonenim na industries etumi aye adwuma se de sese omo ye na we nya industries mponko aban no de nhwehwe egu akwan mu akofa 24 economy dwumadi aba ohwe ni mu se nnwuma kese wo man mu nyado mo bagim no ma ye adwuma no pa awia nnwuma na dwede so ma homache nyina enu nti se enkane entumi nyina 24 economy policy ni so ntumi mam enu nti na madam Elizabeth e kire se aban ne ye na famu die bie ne woni ECG VR ne enwumaku aka omma ye nkane wo man mu di nkomo se be omode nhwehwe pa begu akwan mu nkane a ebetumi agina
we are beneficiaries of MC 26 if you say omode electricity problem be dan me na me di need e frɛ ECG mpanfo almost me from onra na omaba and now mobile so I born common we bibia a solve nti me da ECG for asepa say omobile omadwen so bebo ma industry akonanim if you say put me near industrialization of power anyhow and now mahwe bibia ye kama and you mo hia de ombetimi ai ni say o maye de enche omo de beba be ka ho na ye kama say ya na be ma ye koya akonanim Here, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, onam amansu nyina a ebo ni chidom no the investors number. Into the baswa, e was say problem de beba institutions or mere responsible be to America. Na ya resolve to say the aye focus hadi.
We aye madam Elizabeth Ofosu ejare. Ono ene so for hwedwadie na fei. Efeni nyuma ensem so. Said me, or Mokiko, for one of whom one day, I was a yadiashan and saddle, and Yasim Kumakranti, the Paya dear Joa, as was I ye, me PM semi monapaso. Yaquama would also and some.
This segment is brought to you by Desat Solutions.
Ewo amanone ensemono ne to sameta encheye bia ekoso no na sane White House of why wo mo hyehyɛ no wo hwɛ Iran enchinyuahwe eda wo mo na US fo entem na nyasem kuma na wo so mo nyantie sɛ Iran fo obopo bi sɛ wo mo beyi won mampani Donald Trump e de afiri ho nti wo hwɛ summit na ekoso no a nanka ewiemuhyan a Donald Trump betene mu ade ne bekɔ ne kurom anasa ne maahwo no eno no mo so sɛ Iran fo abopo sɛ ne won be mane ne topaye na ne eyi na free atesefo asase so na nso so White House fo se omo wo waduru ha omo mahunu atara kora no nti omo de nhihie gu akwan mu abra ewiem hyan ya won mu nim se saa efo so ano ena de Donald Trump nam bia ya wo kɔ bia no wo fro ye no a kyese Canada no so obi ahu se wafro no omo duru baabi no ena omo yi ne frɛ no mu a omo pɛ ewiem hyan kuma bi military helicopter bi a omo ma ne tenema no mum ene de no ekoye US force omo wo mo ni da ho wo mo ni ate papa na wono mo ena bibia da wo mo nsam se kwohia wo hu bibia nti po bia no a wo yo man bia bebode etia wo mo hu eno nti no mo gina so a wo sesa wo mampani ne flight e ma no fo bibi foforo se be ya to renchen bia enkebesie no na mo de adoje.
Seemed like an ordinary departure for the US president. Donald Trump boarded the steps of Air Force One, ditching the new Qatari-gifted plane he flew in on after the NATO summit wrapped up in July. But now a bombshell report in the Washington Post describes a sophisticated ploy used to fly Trump out of Ankara. It details how the president was secretly put onto a catering truck parked on the tarmac. He was reportedly ferried onto a third, smaller F-4 C-32A plane. Trump would then fly to England and was seen coming down the steps of the legacy Air Force One jet to board the new retrofitted aircraft. The White House said it made the stop in England to give U.S. troops stationed at a Royal Air Force base a chance to check out the new plane. On the flight to Washington, Trump downplayed security threats which had emerged after the initial switch took place in Ankara.
So you're saying there wasn't a security concern?
No. Why would it? No, except we sent it a little early. Same line, going back. We sent it a little bit early so that we could let them see it. The whole base came out and saw the plane.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against your
Well, I have a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go.
According to the Washington Post, the whole ruse of switching planes was prompted by an Iranian assassination threat against the president. While Trump said the new Qatari gifted plane would undergo additional upgrades, the latest report of him flying on a third aircraft signals just how seriously officials were concerned about Donald Trump's safety given the ongoing war with Iran.
When she man be free US na yam to aso nko Syria. Court baako a wo ho ahye se one man penny dada 2024 ya na ne bre eson ye Bashar al-Assad. Won mo ebua no kumfo esane maboni bia ne bre so wo ye ya court nsisi se wodi nsem ni nyina na se kwadom de boni nyina ehofo. Wo mu kiremu a wogi nipa bi nkwa firi wo mo nsem abra no mo bre enson ye. Afi wo hyeda pa yi nani to nchen kunkum mofra no munya mfinhye no dunum etete nkrofo bia momonam so to adano mo siedo afi so si nipa bi kwan wo mo fa ahodie ho sa na emani nya no mekeka bomu a court hu ne se won man pani dada edi ho fonti ene webu no kunfo nya ono nko nipa bia na eka no ho na memoni mu nyina wono so etoato so ebi na se nya se ne nsi koi no kra no no Bashar no oni ho amanebo ene se wakọ Russia man makosiki asala momon so apene so Emma Syria minor cratron crata area call one mukun manase Russia cronim a isen penifo ho hu crata nimpo no ma bono de na kunkrum ni nyina mu oni ho asende ndi wetumi akoso enu nti na court na hye se wono mo ebua ne kumfo e woni amabone a ne bre so se mampani wodiye.
Before pronouncing his verdict, the judge reeled off Bashar al-Assad's crimes. The fugitive defendant, as he called him, was guilty of intentional homicide, deliberate killing, and incitement.
He is also convicted of the felony of torture resulting in death, and multiple acts of deprivation of liberty, constituting crimes against humanity and war crimes. He is sentenced to death.
A sentence more symbolic than anything, as Assad fled to Russia after his regime's fall in December 2024 and received political asylum. The judge handed the same sentence in absentia to 6 Assad-era military and security officials, including Assad's brother, Maher, a former commander of the Syrian military's notorious 4th Armoured Division, accused of killings, torture, extortion and drug trafficking. Just one former security official, a cousin of Assad's, was in the dock Tuesday. Latif Najib was sentenced to death for leading the crackdown in the southern province of Daraa on the uprising that would lead to the civil war. Outside the courthouse, a crowd gathered to celebrate the verdict, carrying pictures of the war's victims and the lawyer who represented some of them.
Today is a day of justice for all the wounded, martyrs, detainees and Syrians who were unjustly forced to leave their country. It's a historic day, a victory of right against injustice, a victory of the Syrian people against the ousted regime.
The sentencing follows a 4-month trial concerning the atrocities committed by Assad's inner circle during the civil war, during which more than 500,000 people were killed, millions displaced, and tens of thousands disappeared. Syria's new Islamist-led authorities have repeatedly asked Russia to hand the Assads over to face justice, although some Syrians think the death sentence could diminish the already slim chance of Assad and his fellow defendant, millions displaced and tens of thousands disappeared. Syria's new Islamist-led authorities have repeatedly asked Russia to hand the Assads over to face justice, although some Syrians think the death sentence could diminish the already slim chance of Assad and his fellow defendants being extradited.
Amanone sembi ayede so ma nyumre no sia kase mo eni ye gina so na yede ni nyina asi ha Yabuansam dodo no amebɛken kan ne afoforo bi yɛka ho ano ne de akogo news.apmediagh.com. In Facebook ni APTV online, YouTube ye APTVGH, TikTok, Instagram, and X and Tintin Fide ni APmedia_GH. And you remember some for boss lady, Afia Kyem Agyemang am so more kasiye no ne kinkai emo. Madam we na wase abamumo eni she editi.